guys, welcome back. It's Shelby and I am so excited for today's project. We are making a really cute tabletop little lantern out of a Christmas decoration. So I know Christmas decorations were purchased and used and packed up like 2 months ago, but I still have this guy and I still have him out. So I'm like, oh, I need to do something with that. And then I was like, that would be a great tabletop lantern. So basically it's a plastic DIY water globe, snow globe. It's got a cap that comes off and an interior seal. We won't be using that, we're not using liquid. I'll be using a few other items, some fairy lights, some paint, but I will link everything you need down in the description along with my socials as always. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you like it, consider subscribing, and let's get going. Okay, you guys, so as you can see from all the snow on the ground, it is cold today, so I'm not going outside. I'm just opening the door and kind of leaning out of it, but make sure you are in a well-ventilated area whenever you're using spray paint or anything of that nature. So take your paint, which you can't really see because of the snow. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Here we go, kind of. And basically we're just spraying a bunch of it into our dome. Just like that. So you've got a fair amount on the bottom and you're just going to swirl it around as it's drying to let it get the inside of the mirror effect going. The way this paint works is it actually creates the mirror on the opposite side. So if you want to make an actual mirror or something of that nature, you would spray the back side of whatever you're making, flip it over and it's a mirror. So just keep spinning this around till it's dry. It's got a large hole in the top of it, so it's going to kind of air out and dry as it goes. It's going to be a little bit slower than it would be normally if you're spraying it on a flat surface. And it's also going to be slower because it's a lot colder outside. But basically just swirl it around until you don't have a puddle in there and you're happy with the coverage. You're not even necessarily looking for an even coverage on this. Some holes poking through so you can see the light is perfect. But if you are getting that really smooth coverage and you don't want that, you want it to be a little bit more spotted or dappled, you can press your finger against the outside of it and it's going to create a mark in the paint. I'm not 100% sure why, but it does, so you can mark it like that. But yeah, just keep swirling until it dries the way you want it to. Okay, so this is the first coat done, and you can see there's really some cool patterns starting to develop, those kind of like branchy, leafy, lightning-y type drips. I love that. It's not quite as opaque as I need it to be. I don't want it entirely mirrored, but I do want more than this. I can tell because you can totally see my hand through it, like basically 100%. There's also another way to double check it, and I will show that in a moment. But long story short, I know I want another coat on here, so I will show you how to test it, but then I'm gonna set it right back outside and spray it again. So another way to test that your snow globe turntable lamp is going to look exactly how you want it. Just take a lamp like this, turn it on, pop your snow globe on top just for a moment. Don't let it really heat up in there, but you can see like how much of the light comes through and how much you can see. It's more than we want, so we will put another coat in there. Okay, so round 2 of the spraying, same thing as before. Just take your paint, which is too bright to actually see, and just spray a puddle in your snow globe and swirl it around until it makes cool shapes. Okay, so here is how our snow globe is turning out. You can kind of see inside more the way the light's going to hit it rather than the outside mirrored portion, because once the light's coming through, a lot of the stuff that looks shiny that's not opaque is just gonna be able to see through, and you'll see those cool patterns of how the paint dried, so that's exciting. I also wanted to figure out how I want to display this. Like, one option was spray painting the base, and I immediately leaned towards gold because that's like my favorite, but I don't want gold or silver because then that just looks like a legitimate snow globe, right? Like, that still is just a snow globe. So I'm like, okay, I want a way to display it. So I've come up with a bowl. Bear with me. So it's gonna sit like that, which is kind of cool. To get the bowl the right color, I'm just gonna wrap it in foil just in case, you know, at some point something happens and I want my bowl back. And foil is great because you can really like mold it and shape it and do whatever you want with it, and it's gonna stay, it's not gonna ruin the bowl, and you can make it smooth with your finger. So that's what I'm gonna do. I've got my foil and I'm literally just gonna wrap it around the bowl. Just like that. stretch that out a little bit so there's still some room inside for my snow globe. Just like that. Just using my palm to smush it flat around the edge, just like that. And then, I mean, it is foil, like you can use your nail and smooth it out, like just by running the back side of your nail up and over it. Let me do a portion to like show you what I mean by that. So if you want, you can kind of change the whole look of it to kind of look like this part right here that looks like hammered metal, and that's just by running my finger over it, just like that. So it is quite flexible in terms of how it can look, or you can just spray paint it, or you can use a metal bowl, or you know, whatever you want. So let's get on to the assembly portion. So I have my fairy lights. That was loud, sorry. I have my fairy lights. They're kind of cool, right? They're like this purpley color. I like them. So I'm going to unwind this portion of them, which is them all just coiled up, just like that. So this is like a little 6-foot section, and I don't want it too crazy. I just kind of want to make them into a little circle like this, so that they light up kind of cool, right? And then I'm going to just put them inside. Which is like always more difficult than it should be whenever you have like something like wires that like to escape. Go in there. There we go. Pop this on. What you can do is do one of those. Oops. So what you can do for your little guy to turn it on is just put a 3M double sticky on the back and tape it to the top here. I'm not putting in, you might remember, the little seal in there for the liquid. I'm not putting that in because there's no liquid in here, so we don't really need it. But yeah, you can either tape it to the top or just chuck it in and unscrew it whenever you need to turn it on. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. You can see right now, like already, how cool is that? That's pretty cool. I'm gonna show you when it's all put together, but just a little preview. So that's going in. I'm screwing my lid on. Just like that. It's going in the little bowl. And then actually I got my dried moss out because I thought it'd be cool to put some moss around the sides. Looking at this, like it's already pretty cool. I kind of like, you know, the futuristic kind of like silver bowl with the ball coming out of it. Not gonna lie, like I know it's like a totally different look, but I kind of really love it. But I'm gonna chuck some, or you know, gently place some dried moss in and around the bowl area, just because that was like my initial thought for this and I thought it would look really cool. And if it doesn't, I can take it out. I'm not gluing it in or anything. But I have this moss in a little bag, and it's basically just dried green moss. It is dyed. So I mean, moss is green naturally, but the moss you get from the craft store can be sometimes brown or green. This one's like dyed green, but it's still really pretty. So taking out some little chunks like that and just kind of placing it in and around, just so it looks cool, like, you know, like a little garden type look. So that is what I am doing, and then I will I guess turn on the lights, put my moss in, and show you the finished result. Okay guys, so I closed all of the curtains, which is just crazy for me because it's the middle of winter and I'm always trying to find enough light to film in, and now I'm like, why isn't it dark out? But this is how it turned out. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? Like, that's seriously just like this little beautiful glowing fairy light in a sea of moss, like a metallic fountain coming up. I love this. I think this turned out so good. It turned out even better than I was imagining. I'm so excited for this. Like, this is fantastic. This is definitely awesome. And yeah, it's great for like a little bedside table. It's great for, you know, in the living room, anywhere you want to put it. This is awesome. All right, you guys, so this is it. All said and done. I love it. I will put the part where I did it with the lights off, just to like give the full view before this, but I'm so excited with how this turned out.
better than my expectations, which honestly were actually pretty high given what I started with. But oh my gosh, I just love this. I love the purple coming through. I love the moss. I think it just adds like this like super cool like otherworldly like fairy light fantasy type orb situation going on, and I love everything about it. So this is the coolest thing. This is great, and it's super easy and it's really cheap to make. I'll link everything you need down in the description. Speaking of which, let me know what you guys think about it down in the comments, because I would love to hear to see if you like it as much as I do. But yeah, no, I'd love to hear from you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.